I created one of my rules with the wrong name, so that's what's happened. I've done an update on the wrong jar, so I will fix that for you guys before you even get to it. That's my mistake inside of one of my rules in my rules package. So the web archive is trying to call something that doesn't exist. It's using a different class name. My mistake. Spin this up quickly. As you can see, this is an easily repeatable demo. And this thing. Try again. That's what should happen. So I'll fix that inside my package. What happened is I downloaded that zip that I have up there, and that's not up to date. So I need to fix that. I'll replace that right after this lab. So you see here that the 299 is the difference here. So you can go back and the thing is, I've also captured all this on video here at the end. And this is walking you through exactly what we just showed. So what you're going to do is up the price here from $2.99 to $22.99, for example. Go ahead and bump the ID in your projects and build and deploy it. And what it then does is generates a new jar, puts it into your Maven repository. That's a dependency the key scanner will pick up. And you go back in, and if you wait 10 seconds, it's got a 10-second scanner timer. You'll see it in the logs pop up, and you'll have the $2.99 right there. So you did not redeploy your web app at all. You just updated the rules. We're at exactly 1 hour. Here you see the link to the video. You can jump over there and then watch exactly how this stuff works back to front, like I just tried to do for you there in the thing. For the thing that broke, what I'm going to do is let me show you what it exactly was. I think it's fair to leave you guys with some kind of error screen. This right here has a different package name in it, so I'm going to update that, and then everything will work. If you build it from scratch, it'll all run fine. Okay. So if anybody has any questions, here's your last chance to catch me live. I can hang out for a couple of minutes. I'm not in a big hurry to leave, so if you want to continue to work or have any questions, feel free. When you all drop off, then I will drop off. I hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to send me any feedback you have about how your lab experience was. And I guess for you guys, good night. This is a workshop I've been running online for quite a while. I was releasing it a week at a time. I can show you what that looks like. I'm currently now moved on. I started with BRMS section, management. Second half is business process management lab, and I started the BRMS factory. This is an HR process and it's looking at the designing the process. And I plan to extend this for choosing more complex and if I hear it 2-3 times, it's time to make an example of it. So that's kind of I have a couple things in the pipeline, so I'm going to keep those as a surprise. But we're currently at this step right now. There's about 4 more steps involved in this. Every week I try to release a new one. You feel free to walk along. Basic, so that's what this section is I'm in right now. This will walk you through what the product is and what it can do and that kind of thing, kind of the general architectural overview. And then part 2 and 3, which is basically what we want to focus on today, because I'm assuming that you've had some experience with this and are interested in getting started with hair. So we're based on using the repository that I formed to and all the time around with stuff. You clone this, which you should have done ahead of time. This is part of the instructions, but if you don't want to, just or didn't get a chance to, just copy this and you can clone it. I'll show you what that looks like. Go over to it's pretty large, so I hope you guys check if you can't screen. And, okay, I'm assuming so. So, playground here. So git clone the project if you haven't done it yet. It's a very small download, and what you're going to see here is the standard demo setup I always have, and what you're interested in is the installs directory as a README, and it tells you exactly what he's looking for. So we want EAP 611 zip. You can get this in the customer support portal, and the BRMS 601 Red Hat 4 deployable. So it's the EAP deployable. You find that one, I think I have it here set up already. So when you go to the customer support portal, this all should have been done ahead of time. I'm just running through this really quick so you have an idea of what's going on. If you've already done this, go ahead and get started and just follow the labs. Feel free. You have the deployable EAP here. Download that one. Go get the EAP 611. You just drop them in here, and then it's just a matter of I'm just going to link them from my download site. So EAP, what's EAP 611 zip. BRMS 6.0.146. You see there they're both installed there. You go back up to the root level, and you have an init sh or an init if you're on Windows, but I'm assuming nobody's on Windows. You kick this off, and it automates the complete install and gets you ready to go. Takes a couple seconds, and as you can see here, this is what you need to start it. And the server started. What this is giving you is a clean install, and if you jump to the BPM Suite one, you're going to see the exact same thing for that. And it's just a matter of localhost 8080 Business Central, and once the server is completely started up, a couple seconds here, there it goes. You're now looking at the server. Login is Eric S. And then lab walk through, and that's what you see. In terms of speed, I just remember from the location at the other one. Customers that are trying this out, potential customers that are trying this out. This is actually generating leads in different regions that I pass to the teams. So this is a really effective lab as far as I can tell. And you can see here the login, just like we saw. It ends with, do you have any questions? Now, what I'm going to try to do the rest of the day is monitor the questions as much as possible. And don't worry about I see the questions, you ask a question about where the install demo is. That's all listed for you in the slides. So if you follow the slides in the lab, it'll show you where to find the stuff exactly. You cut and paste those commands into your command line. Terminal. At the end of every single lab, so you don't have to go searching for this at the beginning or something, is going to include this. This is the overview of where you can find articles about this stuff, where the workshop is running live under the tags on the site, where the demos, if you're interested in looking at more completed demos that work just like the installs one I just showed you. You can find ones based on a generic loan, on the mortgage, and on a example of migration from the BRMS 5.3 to BPM 6, BPM Suite 6, excuse me. It's early. And the Business Resource Optimizer, I put together a demo of that too. So that's the stuff around the Opta Planner. And some of the stuff I have available right now in the XPass demos. Now, one thing I wanted to say is I have a bonus surprise for somebody that is willing to go along and give it a wing. And you can run this exact same lab in OpenShift on XPass, so not installing it locally if you so desire. If you're comfortable enough with that, I'd like to challenge you to go over here and do this one right here. So log into OpenShift, go to the XPass page, and install the Business Process Management Suite. And you're going to get the mortgage demo installed in there, but you're also able to create a new project parallel to that. So try and run through the labs and set up this stuff parallel. As you understand, the Business Process Management Suite is a superset of the Business Rules Management product. So you'll find all the functionality for the Cool Store inside there. The only thing you won't be able to do at the end is run the actual Cool Store in there yet. I'm working on that. There's a little problem with the size of the web shop. So basically what we're putting together is a retail shopping online experience, and the web application is a little bit too large to deploy in there yet right now. But that's extra credit. So if you happen to get something like that done and can work through everything except for the final lab where you actually run it, I'll go take a look at it online and see what you put together, and I'll have something I can ship to you if you're interested. Some nice stickers or something like that from let you do a little bit of expert stuff on your laptop. And then every lab will end by jumping you right to the next lab. So then you'll move on and start creating a new project, and so on and so on. Okay. With the Cool Store, I provided the beginning, and I will do once. You'll see this exact same slide for the rewards demo in the BPM Suite section during the BPM project. But this link is not available yet because I have not completed the lab. And once the lab is completed, I'll provide access to the complete Git zip. So what he's allowing you to do here, if you get halfway through here and run out of time or whatever, want to see what this looks like at the end, you can can inject this, follow these instructions, and then basically inject it into the installation you just did, and you'll have a completely running, ready to go demo. Okay, that'll allow you to look at that. But we're not going to do that. We're going to continue on and do what we're supposed to do, right? Walk through here, create organizational units, and all this kind of stuff. So that's the idea behind this. The same is for the BPM install demo. That's also listed how to do that. That's what this one looks like here. This is where you can find it. So what I'm going to do, I think, is leave this to you guys. And let you get started with the labs. So I will try to monitor right now the chats as much as possible. And if you have any questions, feel free to jump on there. I don't think you're allowed to talk, but if you are, I don't know if they've muted everybody on purpose or whether you can unmute and ask questions, but feel free to unmute and ask questions or just type it in the chat and we'll see how it goes. I will also leave this APEC Exchange links up at least for a month to allow you to continue on should you not get far enough along in 2 hours or not completely finish it. It could take longer. I'm not really sure. It's just I want to offer you a complete example. Something you can work all the way through to the end, so you might require to do some homework on this. But I would like you to consider it available. Again, when it gets past that month and should it be gone, you will find over here on workshops. This is what's linked to my currently linked to the articles I'm publishing, and it's the exact same thing. So it will continue to be available in the long term and to be extended moving forward. Okay. So back to the stuff you guys have here. I'm going to jump really quick and give you a look at the BPM one. You'll notice this is in a little bit different style. I'm currently porting them to what I think is a little bit visually nicer presentation tool. The first one you were looking at was an Awestruck generated site. This one is Reveal.js. You see here installing the BPM Suite. The first step is exactly the same, just using a little bit different install demo from GitHub. Still using the EAP611, so it's going to run you through the exact same process. You can kick it off and explain some of the configuration that's been set up for you and what users are available and where to get to the suite, how to log in, what it looks like, questions, the links we discussed before, and we move on to creating a project. Okay, so this is all ready to go for you to have some fun with. And I see I put the coming soon here, so this one has not been made available yet. It'll be added in here once it's ready. I don't want people to cheat and go to the end. I want them to follow the weekly labs. So it keeps them hanging on. And it's kind of interesting. I get pinged quite a bit on through my website on this. So there's a lot of people that are playing around with it and asking questions. And I even get some people begging me to please hurry up because they want to move on and go to the next part. So I try to put in as many screenshots as I can step by step so you have an idea of exactly what we're doing and where we're doing it. So please, any feedback you have on this stuff, I'm glad to hear it. In the beginning, I think there was 3 or 4 times somebody found something wrong or it wasn't quite clear enough. I'd done 2 steps instead of 3, and I assumed that you would understand the second step. So I put in more clarification or expanded on what we're doing. Okay, so please get started. And we'll see how you guys enjoy this. And since we have a two-hour running section here, I will poke you guys in about 50 minutes to take a break. So I can run down and get some coffee downstairs here, and then I'll be right back, and we're good to go. And I do believe we're the last session on this channel. Yes. So I'm not in a great big hurry to leave. So there's no reason I can't hang around a little bit longer should you so desire, unless they're going to pull the plug on this site. But I'll be in the middle of my working day by that time, so I'll be around to answer any questions you want and anything moving forward. If you're doing this homework on the side later or a week from now, you're more than welcome to ping me. You all know how to find me. That's where I'm at. You also find me on IRC under Eric S. I hang out in the, I could show you this. There we go. I hang out in the JBPM Dev and the Drools Dev channels on IRC on Freenode. So feel free to ping me there anytime. I'm going to put mine on mute here. You don't have to listen to me breathing in your ear the whole time while you're working. And let me know how it's going if you have any questions. Just to interrupt you for a little bit, here's something that just popped up in my head while I was working here. I'm just kind of working along currently in lab 3, I believe. Yeah. I'm working with a data modeler. When you're designing your data model and you work in a project, that's usually one of the first things you do. So you set that all up. It is stored in the packages that you assign it. So in my case, the Comrade had the Cool Store package. Later, you'll go on and design the rest of your project with rules or whatever. One of the things I noticed definitely in the BPM section, so when you get to, for example, a rules flow, if you're using the BRMS or an actual business process, while you're designing a business process, the first thing you do is you draw it out, or the rules flow, you're just drawing the boxes and stuff, but you're not filling in the details of what each step does. So for example, a gateway that might split based on a decision that's going to happen is often based on one of the elements in your data model. So for example, you might make a decision based on whether a product, I'm just making this up here, but you might say if the product, if the value, the price is higher than $100, you go right, and if it's less than $100, you go left at some point in your flow. Something like that is not yet designed. The natural instinct of a user is to then be designing the process, get to the gateway, and want to go look and check, hey, what part of my domain model was that again? What was the exact name? Was it price, or was it amount, or something like that? So you flip back over your data model, and you should note here at the bottom, sometimes it's not always easy to see, you have a problems lister here. Anything that's causing a problem will pop up with a red mark and list out what the problem is, and it's not always super clear maybe to you what the problem is. For example, there'll be a problem saying the gateway hasn't been assigned yet. So you're like, okay, I'll go set up the gateway. What is the name of that product price? I go back over to my domain model and open it up. And this is a bug right now that's in, I just raised a little while ago, that the domain model will not display the model for you. It'll give you a pop-up saying you can't display it because there's still errors in your project. So if your project has errors it cannot build, the modeler in the current state of 601, which you're using right here, this version will not display the model. So no panic. Go back and make sure you get rid of any problems down here, and then everything works again. You have not lost your model. Okay? That's a pro tip right there. I'll go back to mute, and I'll be working along with you guys. Something else I was going to mention, also notice that when you're filling in on the domain modeler here, you're creating new fields and stuff. You can put stuff down here. You can change on the right side. You can modify your data object, so the actual name on this side, turn it into a complex event stream. So I'm not going to do that for this one, but for example, promo event we did. If you noticed, it is event stream. And you can also adjust fields and the order of the fields. So if we select this one, that's another good shopping cart with 4 things. Shipping total, we can move it up to position 2. Nothing happens yet until you hit the position button here and sorts it and puts it in position 2. So you can filter and rearrange stuff as you see fit. Put it back to 4 for the images. Order it by identifiers, all that kind of stuff. So there's much more here than I cover in just a few slides. Okay, I was going to also point out something here as we work along. In the project authoring, I'm now busy designing, or just designed, the guided rule with DSL, and you see there's some problems or whatever. We'll get to that in a second. Go back over here to the administration. You can always pop back over here and you'll see the organizational units. If you get rid of that, and if you pull down the tab, you see the repository editor, and you can look at the cool store. You can see your commit history. So this thing is actually showing you what's happening behind the scenes with the Git repository. So you can, when you're doing your saves, it behooves you to use an actual message for it. So I've put up a message, see where you're at in the labs, just to give me an idea. I'll let you guys get back to it. So if you are following along and happen to be in lab 4 and you just saw all those errors I was pointing at the bottom here, that had to do with, I'll remove this. You saw all of these here. This is the kind of stuff I kind of add in here on purpose into the labs. So you should see these errors around the shopping cart when you try to build it shouldn't build properly. Be sure to always check ahead, and it shows you how to fix errors and what happens. You need to add in the shopping cart. What this does is put it in the path of your rule. Save. And whoop, they're all gone. And that means when you want to go build, and notice the drop down arrow here, there's no tabs anymore across the top like there used to be in BRMS 5.3. You now have a drop down to see what is open. You go to here and build and deploy. And the build is successful. So that means you've completed this section and can move on to the next one. Also, we're at the 1 hour mark now. Just wanted to. Oh. So, I just had a flyby of an F-16. There's some maneuvers apparently going on around here. Sorry if that disturbed you or scared you in your lab. We're about the halfway mark right now. I was just noticing that I'm in lab 5. I've been going really easy, nice leisurely pace. I'm going to go run and get a quick cup of coffee. I'll be back within 5 minutes. So feel free to leave any questions in the chat. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to mute out and be right back. Okay, we're back. Let's continue on. I'll just be following along and working as we go. Sorry. Hello. Yeah, it started already. I'm not talking at this time. I put everybody to work. Marie. Interesting name. How do I say that? Marie. Mai. Did I say that right? I'm trying. Mai. There we go. Mai. Yes, it started. I can give you a quick review. I was working along with this stuff here, but it starts. You have 2 choices. Here's the APEC Tech Exchange on the Red Hat Cloud, which is the open source version, and you also have on the .itos.redhat.com. Same thing, it's just the enterprise version hosted so that everybody can reach this. Go to the practical rules development and go in here. You have a tour is the first part, which you can walk through here, or you can skip straight to starting to build the cool store, or you can skip to building the BPM suite. And if you do the rules one, that's the completed one. And it'll start you right off, tell you exactly how to do the quick install demo. It takes a couple of minutes. You can also fast forward all the way ahead, but that comes in the second section. Talks you right through step by step how to do all this. Gives you screenshots of what you're going to see. Every section of the lab ends with questions. Any questions, just put them in the tab there. Trying to look at them every so often. And then you're going to want to follow up on some of the links here that shows you where some of the demos can be found for the local installations and where some of the demos are for the XPass stuff, so if you want to use the BPM Pass, and the BPM Suite articles that cover all this stuff. And you'll see it carries you on into the next lab. You just click on it, creating a new project. And there's a fast forward for the BRMS section, so the Business Rules Management demo. You can download, unzip, and clone this in. I've just done that, so I'm going to go at the end and walk through exactly what is being created in this complete lab and how it works. But what we would like you to do is to continue on and actually build the thing from scratch. That's the whole idea behind it. Walk you through this step by step and take you on through the 10 labs. And when you get all the way to the end, after you've built all the bits and pieces, you'll be shown how to run the Cool Store. So this will involve checking out the Cool Store demo and building the web shopping cart. So the whole idea is a retail shopping cart online, like you're shopping in a web store. And you'll be able to deploy that, and once you deploy that, you can start shopping and play with the rules, and it'll show you the shipping, and we're going to play with the shipping table to allow you to modify stuff and see the versions, and then when you reuse this, you'll see that the price will jump to 22. So that's showing you live deployments of rule changes that are having an effect on the web application without any redeployment of your application code. And there's a complete video eventually to show you how to do this, if you wish to watch that. Okay. Good luck, Mai. You missed the first hour, so I'm assuming you'll get about halfway through it. I was just working through it slowly to see how the time would be for a 2-hour workshop. And I'm able to get this done in 2 hours. So anything you can't get finished, feel free to continue on the rest of the week, month or so. I'll probably keep this slide set up here for a month or so, so you'll be able to follow along. And after that, you'll be able to find it at online. I have a slowly releasing story, so I'm at lab 14. So after the BRMS, it's going to flow right over into the BPM stuff, and you can start building that. You'll find that here. Feel free, it'll walk you right through all this stuff, and that's the same idea. You're going to be doing the same thing. So if you want to start building the BPM suite, you'll notice it's installing the exact same thing. And when you get to the end of that, you'll create a new project and you'll start designing your rewards demo. And this one here doesn't have the fast forward that you can download it all yet because I haven't completed releasing it online. That's a weekly event. But what this is an HR business process that is going to model employees getting a reward and having it approved with a human task, and take it through designing a human task form. Eventually what I'm going to do is expand this out. So this is a very simplistic one right now. I think if you look at in the BPM one, we're going to actually start walking you through designing it with the business process designer. And at this point in time, it's a pretty straightforward process. It requires one human task approval and does some notifications by sending an email and making a log entry. But I'm going to expand it in a follow-up section of this lab. So I'm going to extend the lab and put a more complicated dynamic assignment of human tasks is my next follow-up. And there's some more things that I get asked every once in a while. And then that involve a little bit more complex BPM and constructions. And when I get generally asked something a couple times by the field, I try to make a demo or some kind of article out of it to answer the question so you can find the results. And here's you would colorize it. That's what you're going to end up with. That's where we're at right now. The next step will be completing the process details, but as you can see, that's coming soon. That's my next one I'm going to be releasing. So go ahead and enjoy yourself. You can find all this stuff at my blog, which is at Schabell.org. You can also find it linked directly into the product page. I can show you that. I have that over here. I didn't put it up, but the JBoss.org/products BRMS page. Make this a little bigger so you can see it all. So this is part of our new nurture campaign that we're working on, guiding people from the registered, as a registered user at the JBoss developer sites. On the community side, you have people that are using and doing all this stuff. I just lost it. Do the products. When you're a logged in user, when you do a download, for example, on this site, you're getting, if you look here, going to give you the pop up here in a second. It gives you the beta version. So basically, the latest, you're getting the latest release with the $0. And I've already completed the form. So what you're going to get the first time you come in here. So any customer looking at this will get the original deployable. I'm going to look at changing my my labs and stuff to work with this one. So you're actually feeding opportunities into your labs. This is called a $0 download, so they do have to fill out and agree to terms and conditions. When the subscription ends in the year, you'll be notified. But if you look at these pages, find at the bottom a feed, and this feed includes a lot of the stuff that is being done by me. So this is all fed directly in here. You see resources and how to get stuff done, and downloading it and all that kind of stuff. And there's more product pages aligned this way. You can also find look at the BPM Suite. And you see here resource at the bottom here. And these are the feeds coming. You see here the online lab that fed in here. So those are direct feeds. You can find those either on my side. You can find them on howtojboss.com. You can also find them in DZone. They're promoted quite a bit there. They tend to feature the articles. I really like them. Basically, I would say Google. Do that, you can find all kinds of stuff popping up. It's interesting to note also that there's quite a bit of interest in Japan for these. And so at the bottom, most of the time you're going to see a Japanese translation. And it's worth doing a plug for my little buddies over there. And you can follow him and find him right here. He's also on Twitter, and he's quite active. And he does a translation in Japanese of these posts I'm doing, and I try to promote them as much as I can. We have had Chinese translations done by Christina Lin for me for a while, so you might find posts on mine that also include a Chinese link. Anybody that wants to join in and start translating, I'm more than happy to promote that stuff. Whatever language you want to put it in, basically just open your own blog and start copying, and just ping me when you have a translation, and I'll link it directly in. Start feeding stuff through to your site and social media the heck out of it. Yeah. And you can translate it here and check it out. Okay. Hope that answers your question. It kind of went the long way around. We have another half hour to go in this, and get towards the end, I'll walk through what this final should look like, what the project should look like. I wanted to mention that I think one of the most interesting labs is number 7, the guided decision table lab. This seems to be the one that is the trickiest for most people who have never dealt with rules in a table. Excuse me. In this one, we're going to be using doing our shipping rules. So an overview of a rather easy to understand process of quantifying how much you pay for shipping when you order something in the web shop. So from 0 to 25 is going to have a shipping price of $2.99, for example. And if it goes over a certain price, then it should automatically change by applying these rules. We use a guided table. There's quite a bit of detail in this lab. It's, I think, the longest lab, walking you through step by step, showing you how to create this thing. One of the questions I'm also getting is if I could set up something along the lines of integrating just a spreadsheet, so not using the guided decision table, but a spreadsheet. I'm looking into that. I'm a little leery. In this case, I might do a separate demo for something like that, or maybe just put it in this demo as a side example of how that works. But it seems to be something that's of interest to people, so I'm going to take a look at expanding this workshop at least to add that. Whether it actually is used in the demo or not, it might just be included as an example of what that would look like. And we'll end up eventually with your completed decision table, which will look something like this image at the bottom here. Okay, let you guys get back to it. We have about a half hour. I'll give you, I think, another 20-25 minutes. Would appreciate if people could kind of put into the chat where they're at right now. Give me an idea of how good you're progressing along this. And I see the slides. The slides are, when you got the invite, there was a Mojo page that linked the slides. The easiest for me to do is I'll zoom in on this for you here. You got up at the top there, there's APEC Tech Exchange on the .redhatcloud, rhcloud.com. Go there, it'll start it up. The ones I'm using right now. So I'll leave those online, those are hosted on OpenShift. You're welcome. And again, if you guys would let me know exactly where you're at, so I can have an idea how people are progressing, I'd appreciate it. I'm gonna go quiet and let you work the last 20 minutes. Okay, we're approaching the top of the hour, and I've gotten no responses on how far you guys are at yet, so I'm not really sure, but what I would like to do is spend the last few minutes before we wrap this up with a look at the final lab where you actually run the Cool Store demo. What I did was exactly what was said in the second lab, where you could download the Cool Store repository, and you could clone a repository in. I did that here, which gave me the complete setup. So the cheat sheet basically is what we just used. That gives you all of this, including the model and everything. So this is an overview of what you should have created or will have created when you finish the complete lab and all the exercises. I believe we started with the model. All he's saying here is because I imported it, it's been used by an external system to be modified. He's just telling us not a data modeler only setup. But you created the product, you created a promo event, which is an event stream that you're going to be monitoring. You created the shopping cart, which has a list of objects that are shopping cart items. Click here, it goes right. Shopping cart items also has a shopping cart in it, so these objects are involved. We then went on, I believe, and created the DSL, which you see here. Then created a guided rule with the DSL about if they spend over $75 in our shop, they get free shipping. We then went on to do guided rules. We did applying promotions to our shopping cart and totaling up our shopping cart. Then I believe we went on and did our technical rules, which is something that you would expect a developer to do. So it's very much a programming exercise. And then we went on and did our guided decision table, I believe. And this was one of the more interesting things that I mentioned. You see here we have shipping tiers from 0 to 25 to $2.99. This will be central when you demo this. This is a very easy visual thing to use to change, for example, between 0 and 25 to $20.99, and then rerun the thing. There's also a rules flow. Don't be confused by seeing the exact same designer that's inside of the BPM Suite. The support cases for using it within BRMS, and you'll notice up here that there's no ability to run a process standalone here or to do human tasks and that kind of stuff. While you could configure them in this, it's unusable in product. Those use cases are not supported. It's only the rules. So when you're designing a task, we're talking about a rule task here. So every time somebody puts a shopping cart, it's going to run through here and apply all these things, totaling it up. And then we also did a bunch of unit tests, so testing scenarios we can run. And when it's all said and done, you are able to build and deploy the project. And what he then does is deploys a Maven artifact called the Red Hat Cool Store 2.0 jar. And we should be able to see that. And what is going to happen in the final lab here is he's going to say, okay, now go get the web application to deploy into the EAP server. So we want to be able to run the actual Cool Store web app. So here I've done a clone of the listed project there. And inside the projects directory, you will find the application here built. When you check it out, it'll look like this. So you do Maven package. What it's going to do is build up and create your web archive. You can deploy that. That's what he's talking about right here. Now building that. And the reason I suggest you actually do go build that, for a while I provided a pre-built one in the support directory of this project, but you do need to take into account that some people are using different versions of Java. So if you were building with 6, I'm running 7, it's not going to work very well. You're going to get funny errors. So what you see now is that we have a target directory. In the target directory, we have here a BRMS Cool Store demo var. I've copied that into my deployments directory, which means you see that it was deployed right here. I've already built it once, you see. And inside this var is also the key scanner. That's the deployment scanner that's going to watch for any new rule changes. What he does is he monitors an artifact, and I've asked him to monitor the latest. You see down here at the bottom, he's monitoring the artifact with this release ID. So this is the COM Red Hat Cool Store 2.00 is the latest one he's found. So if we go into the next slide, it's going to say, okay, now we need to go to this location to open up our web app store. And there's our store. And we can add a sticker. Remember, it was $2.99 at the cart. And you see here, he's going to calculate some stuff. And something broke. Of course, something broke. No idea what happened here. Restart the server. Quickest way to deal with that. bring it back up and see if there's any deployment errors. Doesn't look like it. There we go. We're back and running. Let's add start. No, something's completely breaking. Now you shall see that when you try to do it live, it does this. What happened here? The application failed on the shopping cart method from store price shopping cart. I put the wrong name in my package. Well, no problem here. What I'm going to do is my completed one, and I created one of my rules with the wrong name. So that's what's happened. I've done an update on the wrong jar. So I will fix that for you guys before you even get to it. It's my mistake inside of one of my rules in my rules package. So the web archive is trying to call something that doesn't exist. It's using a different class name. My mistake. Clean this up quickly. As you can see, this is an easily repeatable demo. And this thing. Try again. That's what should happen. So I'll fix that inside my package. What happened is I downloaded that zip that I have up there, and that's not up to date. So I need to fix that. I'll replace that right after this lab. So you see here that the 299 is the difference here. So you can go back and the thing is, I've also captured all this on video here at the end. And this is walking you through exactly what we just showed. So what you're going to do is up the price here from $2.99 to $22.99, for example. Go ahead and bump the ID in your projects and build and deploy it. And what it then does is generates a new jar, puts it into your Maven repository. That's a dependency the key scanner will pick up. And when you go back in, and if you wait 10 seconds, it's got a 10-second scanner timer, and you'll see it in the logs pop up and have the $2.99 right there. So you did not redeploy your web app at all. You just updated the rules. We're at exactly 1 hour. Here you see the link to the video. You can jump over there and then watch exactly how this stuff works back to front, like I just tried to do for you there in the thing. For the thing that broke, what I'm going to do is let me show you what it exactly was. It's fair to leave you guys with some kind of error screen. This right here has a different package name in it, so I'm going to update that, and then everything will work. If you build it from scratch, it'll all run fine. Okay? So if anybody has any questions, here's your last chance to catch me live. I can hang out for a couple of minutes. I'm not in a big hurry to leave, so if you want to continue to work or have any questions, feel free. When you all drop off, then I will drop off. I hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to send me any feedback you have about how your lab experience was. And I guess for you guys, good night.